Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Proverbs 31 Woman. Today, we're going to talk about how favor isn't fair, but it is fruitful. And I am so excited to share this with you on today because we're going to talk about Proverbs chapter 31, verse 29. And it says, "Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all." Can I just say yes and please and do? Okay, because that means that you stand out among the crowd. And when you do that, can I just say, shine bright, as they say, like a diamond, right? Do the most. And sometimes I notice that we would much rather, cower back. We want to, hide in the background, and we don't want anybody to notice us. But can I say that some of you can't help but stick out like a sore thumb because of your greatness, because of your excellence, and because of your confidence. And so this verse is a divine stamp of distinction. It is heaven's way of saying you didn't just do well, you stood out, not by striving, not by competing, but by cultivating your assignment so faithfully that you become irreplaceable in your lane. That's right. Where your sphere of genius is, you don't necessarily have to be in all the spaces, but in your space, stand out like you should. Now, let's pause and unpack this powerful declaration. The first part of the scripture says that many daughters have done virtuously. This phrase acknowledges the crowd, the collective, the women who have shown up, served well, led honorably, and built with integrity. It's a recognition that there is excellence among women. And a lot of times when we get together, oh, yes, you're going to know that we're in the building and we're doing something pretty amazing. But this is not to put you above everybody else and to put down to others, but it's an elevation of what happens when women fully embody their purpose. So there are many women who do good things, but a woman who submits her gift, her grit, her grind, and her grace to God's timing, oh yeah, God's standard and God's strategy will naturally rise above the noise. Now, this is an important truth for modern women. You don't need to compete to stand out. First of all, you can stand in your own power and be super amazing. Virtue may be widespread, but your favor rests on those, the favor, I will say, rests on those who stay the course. And the second part of the scripture says, "But thou excellest them all." This is a phrase of honor and elevation and not of ego. Excellest means to go beyond, to rise higher, to be permanent, right? It's not about being better than, it's about becoming exactly who you're destined to be fully and unapologetically. When you walk fully in your God given ability, you are unstoppable, not because you're the loudest, but because you're the most aligned. You are recognized not because of performance, but because of impact. When I say that you are unstoppable, that means it's not because of your hustle, but because of heaven's help. The Proverbs 31 woman was not perfect, but she was purposeful. And that excellence caused her to rise beyond the average and walk in uncommon elevation. That's right. Can you just say that I walk in uncommon elevation? The modern revelation here is this: in a world obsessed with comparison and competition, this verse silences insecurity with certainty. If you stay in your lane, honor your calling, and operate with integrity, you will rise. You don't need to mimic anyone else's moves. You don't need to dilute your brilliance to fit into rooms that weren't built for your voice. Your excellence will make you undeniable. People will, will not be able to deny how great you are and the amazing things that you're doing. So, this is especially for the woman who feels overshadowed in her ministry, in her industry, or her family. Know this, that excellence in silence still speaks. Right? It speaks volumes, it speaks loud, and it speaks from the mountaintops. So, what sets you apart is not always the volume, though, but it's your value. And you've got to understand that there is a distinct difference. You could be moving in silence or moving in the background, but still show up and show up well, right? Show up in all your greatness. So, the modern day story, I'm going to give you one. Today, we're going to talk about Carmen. And she was a small town fashion designer who never made it into the major runways. But every client she styled walked away transformed, not just in their looks, but in their confidence. Her work didn't go viral online, but it changed lives online. Now, that is a difference maker, right? Years later, Carmen had one of her assistants become a media executive and called her for a national project. When she asked why, the customer said because Carmen wasn't just good, but she was unforgettable. Now, that's the Proverbs 31 woman impact. That quiet excellence equals loud results. So our takeaway is this: excellent is not a trend, but it's a testimony. You don't need to outshine anyone, just outgrow yesterday's version of yourself. That's right. That's a t-shirt, right? Outgrow yesterday's version of yourself and keep continually going on to your greatness, right? Favor follows your consistency. So stay faithful in the shadows and your light will shine bright. Our activation is this: number one, do that self inventory when your life, where you may want to ask in your life, are you operating at average? And where can you upgrade to excellence? Write all that down to make sure that you are good to go, right? You address those areas. Number two, honor other women without dimming your light. It's okay to tell somebody else, good job, or you look nice. I like your hair, your dress, your shoes, your makeup, whatever it is. It's okay to do that. It's not going to take anything away from you. Matter of fact, it makes you a bigger person, right? That you're okay, that somebody else got it going on, right? So celebrate someone else's virtue while still nurturing your own. And then number three, write a personal excellence creed. Craft a declaration about how you operate in your divine assignment with power, integrity, and boldness. And of course, I have some journal prompts for you. Number one, is what does excellence look like in my current season? Where you are right now, doing the things that you're doing and doing it to the best of your ability right now. Where are you with that? What does excellence look like for you? And then number two, where do I need to stop comparing and start cultivating? Oh, now that will call your feet to the carpet. And look, be honest. This is your journal, right? This is your time for you to process where you are and what's going on, right? Is there something where you still got a little side eye going, or you might feel a little some kind of way, but that's a great opportunity for you to come up, right? For you to now start cultivating in those areas that need some attention. And then number three is, what legacy am I building through my consistency? Only you know that, right? There's some areas that sometimes still need some attention. Be okay with addressing that. And of course, our affirmation for today is this: I don't need to compete. That could be the whole thing right there, right? But I was called to excellence. I honor others, but I do not hide. I walk in excellence because God placed distinction on my destiny. That's right. That means that the Lord has already predestined for you to stand out, for you to be the leader in a lot of areas. Be okay with that. Some of you are not called to be in the shadows, you are called to be in the spotlight. And there is a huge difference between the two, right? And as you understand what this form of leadership is, wear it well, wear it with integrity, and wear it with the highest degree of excellence that is afforded to you, right? Meaning that there could be some areas that need to be worked on. Can I just say start there first, right? Pick one area and work on that, and then go ahead and get to the next level. Matter of fact, while you're doing it, take somebody else with you, because it's not about us four no more, right? Like, it's about how many people that we can help on their pathway to greatness. And you have experienced in some areas that a lot of people are looking for right now. They're longing to have the skill set that you have, to have the knowledge that you have, the wisdom that you have, right? Go ahead and put that in a format, put it in a blueprint, right? Make your IP stand out, make it scream volumes out there in the marketplace, and help somebody else, mentor them, train them, and really help them to cultivate their lives with transformation, right? On their way to greatness. And thank you so much for joining me. Can you believe that it is already 29 days that we've been doing this? And I cannot tell you how excited I am for doing this every single day, and that you've been joining me here as well. Continue to comment, continue to send me the text, the DMs, and the shares. I do greatly appreciate that as well. Of course, you can follow me on all social media at I am Dr. Tabitha, as well as you can go to my website, drtabitharussell.com. I look forward to connecting with you again. You know it, on tomorrow. Take care.